in the midst of experiencing the samsaric aggregates, samsaric being, a samsaric being, and still able to extract the most precious nectar of the Dharma. And among the Dharma, such as like a lambrim is the essence, complete, the path to enlightenment. That also in the most convenient way. So you should understand that this is all the result of blessings of the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and especially gurus. Then a result of your own past great accumulations of merits. And then upholding those meritorious values that you have now, even in the midst of so much distraction, so much of sensual distractions, so much of samsaric experiences, distractions of worldly concerns, but still, you make sure that you are not slipped away or swept away by those distractions, and pull yourself back to the track, and making sure continue to develop yourself, which you already come a long way. Many countless lifetimes, you have tried your very best. You created so much of Dharma imprints, meritorious accumulations, and arriving to a position that if you continue to stay focused, the enlightenment, the actualizing resultant enlightenment, fully awakening your pre-existent Buddha potential could be right in the palm of your hand, could be right on the cushion that you are sitting, could be right now. If not, at least within this very lifetime, before we reincarnate, other existence. So that is amazing. That is really, really a huge blessings. That is something that that yourself should celebrate. And feel happy. Then pay even extra attention, dedicate more time, and try to practice completeness of the Dharma, as if this is the only chance. And if this chance is fully utilized, the complete eradications of all the inconvenience of samsara is definitely possible. So yeah, acknowledge that. Oh, yeah. So I will continue reading from the text that we left, where we stopped yesterday. So yesterday, yeah, we are still on the first heading, the emphasizing the greatness of the author in order to authenticize the teaching, the lineage. And from going through this biography of Lama Adisha, one thing we can learn is the relation that we should establish with our spiritual teacher is someone like Adisha, someone that who carries the similar kind of qualities. One of the most perfected Mahayanic, spiritual guru. As we always aspire, every lifetime, may we be never be separated from the perfect Mahayanic guru. And when we talk about that, it's very much talking about guru, someone who carries similar kind of qualities, like Lama Adisha. And especially at this very, the page that we are reading through, one of the highlighted qualities about the practice that they live on, the practice on the three kind of precepts, three vows. The entirety of the moral discipline comes within these three precepts, the three kind of vows. The Patimoksha vows, or the individual liberation vows, Bodhisattva vows, Tantric vows. And I think here many of us, we too, try our very best to practice them, receive them, and we should aspire to uphold just like the Adisha, eventually, if not this very life, but at least sooner or later, and maybe in subsequent immediate life, have all the conducive conditions to uphold the entirety of the precepts. Many of the audience here are lay practitioners. So, within the individual liberation vow, the lay practitioner has the opportunity to uphold, like such as refuge vows, 5 lay vows, but don't have the opportunity to practice the Vinaya, the Sangha vows, until you get ordained. And for many individuals, don't have the environment because of your responsibility for family, etc. But eventually, one should aspire to have them, because that can offer great conducive conditions to gather the Dharma more convenient way, easier way, you see. But at this stage, then, practice the refuge and the lay vows as perfect as possible. So Adisha himself, he holds the highest Patimoksha vow. The highest Patimoksha vow is the fully ordained Sangha vow. 253 vows. in Patimoksha or the individual liberation vow, there's no higher than that. There's no more than that. Shakyamuni Buddha too hold these three vows. Yeah. So then the second one. So yesterday we talked about the read through the Patimoksha vow that Lama Tsongkhapa, how he uphold them. So today we go through how Atisha possess the Bodhisattva vow. The Bodhisattva vow, tantric vow, very much all of us here practice them. So it says like this: Atisha practiced numerous instructions for training in bodhicitta, which is rooted in the love and compassion. Especially following the Silingpas. Silingpa, he trained long in the highest instruction passed on from Venerable Maitreya and Manjukosha through Asanga and Shantideva. The basis that one can uphold the Bodhisattva vows is the practice of love and compassion. And especially the ordinary or the initial, the practice of love and compassion eventually has to develop as a great or the unconditional love or boundless love and great compassion. As far as concerned with Atisha, on the basis of that, he received the training from the two lineages, from Maitreya, the lineage of 7 cause and effect, and from Manjushri, the 4-point self-exchanging with others, and 7 cause and effect, through Asanga and Silingpa, and to Atisha. The 4-point exchanging with self with others through Manjushri, then Shantideva, and then to Silingpa or Shantideva to Atisha. Then not only that, Atisha received these two lineage in the form of a nearing lineage through Lama Silingpa. So Lama Silingpa, ultimately, he have received this directly from Maitreya, and Silingpa passed directly to Atisha. So this is a nearing lineage. So, and not only being nearing lineage, but also the lineage of both combined, the 4-point exchanging with others, and 7-point cause and effect, both, and not only receiving, but immediately right there when he received the transmission, he get into retreat, he get into practice until he actualized the realization on bodhicitta, until he achieved the bodhisattva path. He trained 12 years, so like that. So because of that, the lineage that Atisha carries is one of the most intact, one of the nearing lineage. And if we relate to this lineage, if we receive the lineage blessing through this channel, then it's easier for us to actualize the benefit of the realization on the stages of the Lamben. Like that. So thereby, bodhicitta, which cherish others more than oneself, arose in his heart. This aspiring bodhicitta gave rise to engaged bodhicitta. And he never transgressed the rules of the Buddha's offspring on account of his excellent behavior. His engagement in the training following his promise to train in the vast conduct of Bodhisattva. So initially, Atisha trained himself in aspirational bodhicitta. He tried to remember every action he do, every activity that he start. He make sure he remember to generate bodhicitta motivation. So this is something that we can learn. Everything. Even the moment you wake up, first thing to remember to generate bodhicitta motivation. To very much dedicating your life, this very day, and this very next move, this very next action for the cause of numberless sentient beings, temporary happiness, after the ultimate happiness, enlightenment. Very much like that. You see. Then start with every major activity. Remember to infuse by bodhicitta motivation, like such as eating breakfast, lunch, dinner, then wearing clothes, going to bathroom, then going for job, meeting family, meeting people, etc. Then eventually, before every step, you train to remember bodhicitta. The purpose of your making one step into your garden is for bodhicitta purpose. Whatever thought that you wish to cultivate, even you want to check your bank balance, you generate bodhicitta first. Before you check the bank balance, you generate bodhicitta. Before you go to cook, generate bodhicitta. Before you change your clothes, generate bodhicitta. Like that, So throughout the day, that until that your aspiration, your heart become inseparable from the aspiring bodhicitta. You have to train until like that. Then that will result into engaging bodhicitta. So this is how Atisha did a retreat, did a training all together for aspiring bodhicitta, engaging bodhicitta for 12 years. You see, so we shouldn't be discouraged that, I've been meeting Mahayanic Dharma for a long time ago, maybe 20 years ago, 30 years ago, still a bit, not easy to remember bodhicitta. You cannot be disheartened with that. We have not done, retreat. We didn't manage our life as a retreat in bodhicitta. You see, we are very much in the retreat of our worldly responsibilities, our worldly way of thinking, worldly way of doing. We are very much in that retreat. We are not in this side of retreat. So it's not easy for us to remember bodhicitta motivation every action we do now. Maybe many of you may be, but not for me. Not easy, you see. So, but now the one of the blessing of this going through this teaching is for us to put focused effort. As I mentioned earlier, as a student, we should carry the legacy of our guru, follow the footsteps of our guru. And here the Guru is Lama Adisha. And we are learning his teaching, his way of life is for us to practice that way, you know. And then that way, then all the realization on the stages of path until enlightenment will be possible. So like that, you know. Then eventually, then every action also by nature also is altruistic action. No, not just the motivation is altruistic intention, but even the action by nature, you know, eventually adopt as a altruistic action, or Bodhisattva's way of life, or Bodhisattva's way of doing, Bodhisattva's action, you know. At the moment for us, it's not that easy, you know, to be able to make that possible. But make our thinking in aspirational bodhicitta, that is in fact is not so difficult in one way. If we decided to get into the pace of retreat, just like Atisha, then in one way it's not that difficult, you know, because it is just it is very much remember the altruism. That's it, you know. Remember to remember. So that's very much, you know. So there's no physical action necessarily involved, you see. But when you get into engaging Bodhisattva's way of life, or practicing engaging bodhicitta, then there are so many our worldly activity need to completely give up. So that will be very, very profound and very strict, very extensive. One day we will be able to do so, you know. But at the moment, I think for most of us, which is hard. But the starting point is, you know, first get fully success, remembering the bodhicitta motivation in every action. That until they're doing that every day to day, eventually you don't even need to have a mindfulness to remember. The natural mindfulness will be actualized in our system. You know, the moment we have awareness, we have the awareness of bodhicitta, like that. Then how Atisha possessed the tantric vows, owing to the fact that he had gained concentrations of the generation stage, in which one's own body is seen as that of the deity, and of the completion stage of the indestructible Vajra mind, Atisha became chief among yogis. In particular, he guarded his commitment properly without transgressing prescribed rules or the vows. He not only courageously undertook the training in the ethic of the three vows, he also upheld them as a promise. He kept the vows without transgressing their respective rules. And even if he transgressed them ever so slightly, he very quickly purified this with the suitable rituals for restoring the given vows. So the greatness of Atisha holding the tantric vow, not only he received initiation right after entering into the tantric path, which is receiving initiation, then he fully dedicated his time engaging in the two major practice of Tantra, the generation and completion stages of the tantric practice. Because of that, then his realization that he achieved in generation and completion stage, he become the greatest among the yogics. Not only the greatest among the scholars, but greatest among the yogics also. And he have achieved the perfection in his realization, in all the three vows, is because he uphold the precepts very strictly, very purely, consistently, until he actualized the perfection. Along the journey of training, whenever there's a little transgression that happens, he purified them, with the respective rituals, which many of us neglect that. We hardly focus on the transgression side in relation to our precepts, and that is a great flaw. We do put great effort to accumulate more precepts. We do put great effort to accumulate more initiations, more teachings, more vows, but we hardly pay extra attention to the leakage of those precepts, the transgressions of those precepts, the limitation in fulfilling those commitments. And that's the way that we are unable to catch up with this, great master's way of life. We still remain, quite unsuccessful as a practitioner, you see. So from Atisha's life, we can learn, one thing, especially here, not only gather the virtue, but we make sure not to transgress or not to bring limitation from the virtue that we already have, like those of the precepts. If there's any limitation comes in our way, then we should purify them, as soon as possible, immediate as possible, and very much as a Dharma practitioner's job is two main jobs. One of the main job is to accumulate merit, to accumulate teachings, to accumulate Dharma, to accumulate initiations, to accumulate transmissions, to accumulate practice. Then another major job is to purify the limitations that we may have in relation to initiation that we have received, limitation that we may encounter in relation to the teaching that we receive, the guidance that we receive. And that is very much focusing on the practice of purification, purification practice. General purification practice for general limitations or general negativities is a Vajrasattva practice that we normally do, or prostration through 35 Buddhas, recitation of at least 21 times of Vajrasattva mantra every day. These are common, or meditating, meditating on the four opponent powers. But there are specific purification practice that need to be conducted in order to purify specific transgressions, which I briefly mentioned yesterday. For the Patimoksha vows, for the individual liberation vows, the Patimoksha vows, for refuge and lay vows, you can purify transgression by retaking them. And one of the commitment is to take refuge precept 6 times a day, and that's minimum. 6 times a day is a minimum. Then for Sangha vows, you have to engage into the confession, ceremony. You only can purify in the Sangha community, minimum of for fully ordained sangha. Within that community, only can purify. As I mentioned before, whenever you get opportunity, or at least once a while, or at least once a year, travel to those those who conduct the conversion ceremony, and be part of them to purify the transgression. And that for the practitioner of the Patimoksha vow or the individual liberation vow of the novice sangha, who uphold the 36 vows, then fully ordained practitioner who uphold 253 vows, for them, like that. Then for the Bodhisattva vows, similarly, should take 6 times, 6 times, minimum 6 times to remind them. Or whenever you get opportunity to, meet your teachers, or whenever you go to holy places for pilgrimage, or at least, the most convenient is, to go into your prayer room, your altar in front of Shakyamuni Buddha statue or painting, or if not, you visualize them, and right there, you retake the Bodhisattva vows, and that's one of the most effective way to purify the transgression. Or whenever you take initiations, you get opportunity to retake the Bodhisattva vows. As for the tantric vows, you have to refresh them, taking the tantric vow by yourself, through the verses, by reciting, in front of, in the present, through visualization or conviction, or in the actual presence of your guru or the deities. You can do that. You can also take in front of the Buddha, like such as the 5-day Buddha, any of Buddha, like Amitabha, Amoghasiddhi, Ranasambhara, Vairocana, that you can take them like that. Then another way, the one of the most the complete ritual is, take together with taking the initiation, taking initiation. Then there are other commitments, guru yoga commitments. After taking Patimoksha precepts or Bodhisattva vows or tantric vows, you establish this special spiritual connection to your teacher, and there's a samaya that established in relation to that teacher, and those precepts also need to uphold. And those precepts are especially, you uphold and purify if there's any transgression by directly approaching to the specific teacher, and by asking forgiveness and refreshing them, reestablishing the commitments, the guru yoga commitment. Can do like that. If the gurus physically is not existent, then you can do that in relation to the heart disciples, the disciples heart disciples, or even the attendants, or even the holy, in front of holy relics of the guru, or if not, then at least the statue or the picture or any spiritual blessings, spiritual implements that guru have given to you. It could be even a blessing string. It could be a text. It could be a relics. It could be just a mala. So you put that on the altar. You do 3 prostration, kneel down. Then you ask forgiveness. You confess them. You refresh them like that. So these are extremely important. Otherwise it becomes like a leakage container how much we gather more nectars of the Dharma, but then consistently there's a leakage is happening if the transgressions are not purified, so like that. So that's why I mentioned yesterday, like Atisha, he carried this small Kadamba stupa. We too, you can either stupa, either small statue, or either mala. Mala is, I think most of us will carry the malas. Whatever it may be, you define that as a representation of your guru, your deity, the Buddha. Then whenever you feel that there's some transgression happen, right there, without delay, to confess, try to purify them. So that is the utmost job of a spiritual practitioner, like that. So now I read Atisha's accomplishment with the training in concentration. His training in concentration has a true aspect. As for the common aspect, he achieved this supple mind of shamatha. And as for the uncommon aspect, he gained the utmost stability of the generation stage. Moreover, he trained in the yogic awareness discipline for three, some emphasize, some account emphasize 3 years, some emphasize more than that, 6 years. It's very much, in short, you see, when we talk about the guru's quality, which will come on the chapter of Guru devotion, but here, as a perfect Mayani guru, there are 10 qualities, the Mayana Sutra have emphasized in Maitreya's word. If not, at least 5, if not, at least 3, you see. The first one is the morally disciplined. And now when we talk about the 3 precepts, from there you can see Atisha is someone who hold the highest level of the perfect Mayani guru's quality and perfection in morality. Second one is talk about concentration. Now here, the concentration, not only making his body, speech, and mind serviceable to the Dharma, but also he equipped all the tools to bring benefit to others. He actualized the common concentration, the shamatha. He achieved the shamatha realization. Uncommon concentration, he achieved the stability of the generation stage. You see, generation stage. This training also, he didn't achieve just aspiring it. He engaged in the retreat. He engaged in the practice, such as 3 years of great retreat. Minimum of minimum. And I think Atisha here, he engaged in the deity yoga practices. Some talks about 6 years of continuous strict retreat, like that. And shamatha training, about 3 over years. You see. Of course, when we go through the common teachings on shamatha, if you have all the conducive conditions, then if you train for 6 months, there are possibility of realizing the shamatha. But I think in our time, I don't think as easy as like that. Even Atisha time, he trained 3 over years. So I think our time, really may take longer time. You see. So so the retreat is required. Very dedicated kind of training, both for the common and uncommon realization on the concentration. Then now I read how Atisha performed the deeds for the sake of the teaching after obtaining the excellent qualities. The whole purpose of doing retreats, whole purpose of becoming scholar in the Dharma, whole purpose of becoming yogic is ultimately to bring benefit to the sentient being. And there has to be the deeds as one of the major quality. So he's talking about that. Okay, I read. The deeds that he accomplished for the sake of the teaching are of the two types: his deeds in India, his deeds in Tibet. His deeds in India, at the Temple of Great Enlightenment in Bodh Gaya, Atisha defeated the misguided proponent of the non-Buddhist doctrine 3 times by means of the Dharma, thereby maintaining the Buddha's teaching. He also eliminated the taint of ignorance, misconception, and doubt with regards to the higher and the lower Buddhist system, whereby he spread the teaching. Thus, he was regarded by the old schools as a crown jewel, free from partiality. So, as we all know that Atisha was, named as a crown jewel of the Nalanda University, the Nalanda Masters, because of his extensive training the will of Dharma on the basis of quality, caring, impartiality, knowledge of all Dharma, also impartiality, benefiting all kind of disciples in accordance with their mental disposition. Then also he preserved, especially during that time, there's a great danger occurs for the preservation of Dharma by non-believers or non-Buddhist philosophers. So you need someone that who really has a great knowledge in the entirety of philosophical system, not only Buddhist philosophical system but also non-Buddhist philosophical system, who have the talent in debate, so that then he able to preserve the Dharma, degenerating from the other's power like that. And also his presentation on the main topics of the teaching, which is on emptiness, will be free from flaw because of his master in the philosophical systems, from the 4 schools. So he's talking about that. Okay, I read. His deeds in Tibet. Lhā Lama and his nephew. So Lhā Lama Yeshe is the king of Guge during the 10th, 11th century. His nephew, the Changchu, who are the main reason able to invite Atisha into Tibet. So Lhā Lama and his nephew sent the 2 great translators, Gyatsunri Singye and Nakso Tsudrim Gyalwa, to India, one after another, one after the other. Yeah. Since they took a great pain again and again to invite Atisha, he traveled to Upper Nagri during the region of Changju and was requested to provide a pure form of the Buddha's teaching. Thereupon, he spread the teaching by composing the lamp for the path to enlightenment, the text bringing together all the points of the sutra and tantra and condensing them into the applicable stage, as well as the other texts. Especially, he spent 3 years in the Nagri, 9 years in Nyathang, and 5 years elsewhere in the central Tibet and Assam, teaching the fortunate all the scriptures and instructions of the Sutra and Tantra. He thereby restored the teaching that had declined, caused those that remained to flourish, and corrected those that had been polluted by the error of misconception, ensuring that the precious teachings were freed from all flaws. Earlier Atisha came. There's already establishment of teachings on Tantra. There's also other, the practices in the name of Buddha's teaching. But then there's a lot of misunderstandings, a lot of misuse, pollutions, misunderstandings, misinterpretations, etc. So Atisha served to clarify all those flaws, or clear all those flaws, and bring the purest, Dharma into Tibet, and which the tradition carry on, even today. And we are also one of the fortunate ones to able to study the Lamp for the Path, and study, it is commentary like a Lamrim. So there are three conditions for the excellence in the compositions of the text, clarifying the sage intention, Buddha's intention. The first one, being learned in the 5 areas of the knowledge, like such as language, logic, reasoning, then medicine, craft, and Buddhist teaching, in both philosophy as well as all the different lineages, like such as commentary, such as Lamrim, such as mind training, such as instruction. So one of the important criteria to not to have flaws in compositions of the Dharma teaching. One of the criteria is that 5 areas of the knowledge. Having received instruction on how to put into practice and meaning of those texts, which can be traced back to the instructions of the perfectly completed Buddha in the unbroken lineage of exalted masters, and having received the permission to teach through the visions of the personal deity. So those strict practitioners, the lineage holders, they don't transmit the teaching until they receive direct order from their guru, or at least permission is granted. You ask permission to your guru whether I can initiate, to offer initiations to others, whether I can commentary to the particular teaching, whether I can offer transmission of this teaching, whether I can offer like Shelung, explanatory commentary or not, or whether I can offer vow, like such as refuge vow, lay vows, ordination vows, Buddhist vows, tantric vows. So in the proper traditions of Nalanda, proper traditions of the Tibetan Mahayanic Buddhists, of all the 4 major schools, the teachers won't conduct without having permission from their teacher. If they didn't receive permission from their teacher, the another way is to receive permission from meditational deities or Dharma protectors. The celestial Dharma protector, Dakatakinis, they have to prophesize, they have to order you, permit you. It comes in the form of the deities appearing, vividly, deities appearing in the form of the deity, or deities appearing in any other manifestations, or deity appearing even in the dream, or appearing in the sign. So there's such strictness is there. So it's not like just having the knowledge, then you already start to teach. It doesn't work that way. For academic learning can work that way. As long as you're a scholar, it's good enough. As long as you know the subject, you can teach. But if you really do that for the actual spiritual benefit of the listener, the student, then you cannot simply teach. You cannot simply transmit. You cannot simply, by your own, because you like to teach, not like that. You see, sometimes when we hear teacher, oh, I like to teach this, that's why I teach this. It doesn't work that way. Intellectually, the student may able to learn a lot, but spiritually, there's even danger of becoming an obstacle. You see, that's called a Dharma pollution. When you don't have the proper channeling of the Dharma blessing, the more you learn Dharma, the more difficult person you become. the more rough you become, and sometimes you can see that. Sometimes you may encounter, say, oh, I learned Dharma for 40 years, but looking at the manners, looking at the way how these people think, the way how these people talk, the way how these people behave, you're worse than yourself, who is a beginner. So it's not, so that's why Dharma can become a pollution also, if the transmission are not done properly. You see, I remember when I was in Oxford before pandemic, so I stayed there for about 3 months. I was engaging in one semester. My students are PhD candidates, those who are doing thesis, and most of those students are Buddhist students. One of their subject is a Buddhist teaching. Then they also have a Buddhist faculty. Unbelievable professors. Some are like a scripture dictionary. Their brain is like a scripture dictionary. I'm not talking about all, but I also met unbelievable arrogant professors and unbelievable arrogant students. Unbelievable ego, unbelievable. I was shocked. And sometimes we also find that in the monastery, not just in Oxford. We find that in the monastery. We also find that in Dharma centers, unfortunately. So harsh, so rough. The basis of Dharma is gentleness, peace, love, empathy, compassion. There's not even a smell of that. There's not even a sight of that you can see. It is like it's unbelievable. Sometimes we encounter, and these are very much Dharma pollution. They learn just academic knowledge. You see, there's a saying that even a great monastery, a great philosopher, even a monk, because of the motivation is wrong, the way how you receive the channeling of the Dharma was wrong, then you pass away with so much ego, and because of that, you reincarnate as a spirits, also like that. You see, so therefore, it's a third eye shishindu. The more you hear Dharma, the more humble you have to become, the more peaceful you have to become, more gentle you have to become. The more you hear Dharma, the more you know, you behave like the more you don't know. The more humble, the more gentle. So these are very, very important, and these are illustrated by like the Atisha's way of life, like that. And our gurus, you can see, all those are great examples. Yeah. So yes. Yes. Then, you see, the more you practice the Dharma, you see, the more you practice Dharma genuinely, less harm, even by a non-human beings like spirits. Some individual, after they practice Dharma, they get more disturbed. They claim that I get more disturbed by spirits. So that already shows that you need to fix the lineage that you have, the teacher, how you relate to your teacher, how you receive the transmissions of the teaching, how you acquire the Dharma. You see, it's not a superstitious thinking. Sometimes even Dharma materials have a contamination of broken lineage, contaminations of the impure motivations or contaminations in the lineage, etc., can affect our practice, can affect to develop our heart. You see, then no question about when you receive the teaching, we really have to be very, very careful, like that. Yeah, that's why it says here, Adisha, to reveal these teachings, he not only has a permission from his teacher, a request from his teacher, but he also have a request from the meditational deities. I continue to read. A text should be composed with at least one of these causes for excellence, and it will turn out all the more excellence if all three are complete. This great master Atisha possessed all three. As for help from the personal deities, not so. One of the disciple, his disciple, offer praises, mentioning those names of the deities from whom he has a vision, from whom he got a permission. So from the glorious Hevajra, from the three Samaya Yuvaraja, so this one is in Tibetan called Tamsi Kwebe Jabo. So it's very much the deities of deity to whom he hold the samayas, like those initiation deities, to whom that he established samaya, like receiving their initiations, etc. So Tamsi Kwebe Jabo. Then from the heroic Lokishara, Chenrezig, from noble Reverend Tara and others. So Mother Tara. Then so very much of all his meditational deities have prophesied or have a vision to him to reveal this teaching and prophesied it will be most beneficial. So you had vision and permission, thus in dream and through direct perception, you perpetually listen listen to teaching on the holy, profound, and vast Dharma. Atisha held numerous lineage of gurus, such as the lineage of the common vehicle and the lineage of the Mahayana. So lineage of the common vehicle, like teaching on Vinaya, teaching on Abhidhamma. A lineage of the Mahayana, the Paramita Sutra, which itself has two, the Paramitayana and the secret Mantrayana. So he had the lineage of the complete Dharma. He held three lineage in the Paramitayana, the lineage of the view and of the conduct, with the latter having been passed on into two lineages, one from Maitreya and one from Manjughosha. In the secret Mantrayana, he had received 5 types of transmission. The lineage on Father Tantra, lineage on Mother Tantra, like Father Tantra, like Guya Samaja. Then Mother Tantra, like Chakrasambhara. Then the common of all, like Kala Chakra. Then Yoga Tantra, Kriya Tantra, Action Tantra, like such as like Cherezik, Manjushri, Tara, etc. Then the specific, the mother of all the Takinis, the Vajrayogini, the Vajravaravai, all these different 5 lineages. So Atisha has all these 5 lineages in Tantra, as well as many other lineages, such as the lineage of the tenets, then the lineage of the blessing, the lineage of the various instruction. The guru from whom he heard instruction directly are mentioned in the preface, which comes below. So you see, so as I mentioned before, Dharma, if possible, the best for the benefit of receiving the Dharma blessings to you, the teacher whom you relate to, there's someone who carry not just a lineage of tenets, a lineage of philosophy, lineage of the scholarly learning. There's someone that on the basis of that, someone also has a lineage of transmissions. As I mentioned yesterday at the beginning, there are many different transmissions, have received even in one Dharma for Lamrim, you have a transmissions of commentary, transmission of like Shelung, transmission of oral transmission of instruction, transmission of experiential teaching. Someone who have received all this, then you receive even one transmission, you receive the benefit of all spiritually, you see. But it's still beneficial to receive one by one, but just receiving, let's say, the commentary, because of the lineage that passing to you has transmission of all, you still receive the essence, the blessings of the all lineages, which is must requirement for the realization on the path. If our purpose of learning Dharma is not for realization, no need all this. As long as you rely on a scholar, it's good enough. Or as long as you read the text, it's good enough. Or watch the YouTube, is good enough. Or search in the Google. Today, now you search in the Google, you can get everything. So good enough. But if it is for your realization, if it is for actualizing the path, realization on the stages of path, your purpose is for liberation, your purpose is for enlightenment, your purpose is you want to realize emptiness directly, your purpose is to actualize Bodhisattva's level, then all these transmissions are extremely, or most important. You see, when you look at history of our Buddha Dharma, even today's time, especially in Tibet, in Himalaya regions, there's a great attention, paying attention to receiving, all different aspects of transmissions. You see, which in the West, not that, maybe not so aware. I don't know why. There's not much focus on that. Maybe for some individual, yes, you understand and you put effort to go to the Himalaya regions, and then you pursue all those lineages. But otherwise, in the West itself, not only in the West, even in Southeast Asia, in the Dharma communities, you don't really see, much of paying attention in that. You see, so which is something that which need to pay attention, I guess. No, not only I guess. I think it's something definitely have to pay attention. if we are truly serious about realizing the path, then these are important. Then more and more students from the West, Southeast Asia, like in the Himalaya region, like in Tibet, Nepal, India, pay attention to receive those lineages and eventually able to pass down those lineages, to your own regions, like that, So then those gurus from whom the Atisha receive many, those lineages, it says like this: the guru you always rely on were the many who had accomplished siddhis, such as Santipa, Silingpa, Bhadrabuddhi, Janashiri. In particular, you held the profound and vast instruction that had passed from one to another, all the way from Nagarjuna. From whom, Silingpa has also carried the lineage, then from whom Atisha himself carried those lineage. Like just an example for Bodhicitta, they both two lineages, like that. It is well known that Atisha has 12 gurus who had attained siddhis, and many other too. So Atisha generally claimed to have 157 gurus. Here, the 12 gurus are those in conventional level claim to achieve siddhis, the Mahasiddhi levels. Then in a certain text, they talks about 57 gurus. All these numbers are not contradictory. All this has its own, in relation to that particular topic of the teaching, has a specific, the channeling of those specific teachings, and the numbering was mainly focused on that. Generally, overall, the number of the teachers is about 157 gurus, and among them, the central one, always regarded as Silingpa, is regarded as central one, Lama Silingpa, who reside in the Indonesian island Sumatra, where Atisha have traveled there, taking, I think, 12 months on the journey. So much hardship, so much hardship. So for Dharma pursuit, we need to put hardship. Whatever hardship, even now, even in this very comfortable way also, I think I'm already causing you, many of you have a back pain, buttock pain, hungry, sleepless, or there may be many, many other inconvenience, which are good. In another way, which are bonus. And we should put even more hardship, for pursuit of Dharma. That's the way the impact of the Dharma comes greater way, you see. So that's why sometimes, we go to attend his honest teachings. Not easy. Not easy. Of course, there's a way to make it so easy, but just leave it like that, which itself is a quality. It has its purpose. It's a great purpose of purification. Even just attending for 3-4 days of teaching event can go through such a hardship, but then nothing is wasted. Everything, it helps to purify ourselves. Make ourselves ripen disciple. To realize the path. So like that. So there are many. There are almost all the gurus of our time, all the gurus of the earlier Gautama master, including Lama Tsongkhapa, all the Indian great masters. When you refer to their biography, so much hardship to pursue one single transmission of one single word, transmission of one single line, one single letter, for one single initiation, for one single commentary, one single transmission, one single instruction. So much of hardship, you see. And especially, Atisha, when relate to him, can imagine, during that time, like around 11th century period, the journey from central India to go to Sumatra, unbelievable. Elemental distractions, superstitious spirit distractions, human distractions, so much challenges, but then his purpose is for enlightenment, for the benefit of all sentient beings, then even after he received the teaching, he practiced until he gained realization. It took 12 years, like that. Then after that, so much hardship, sacrifices for him to reveal this Dharma to the fortunate students, disciples, in Tibet. Without the hardship, both from the students as well as the Lama Atisha himself, there won't be this teaching available today's time. You see, so thinking of that, then we should really, inspired and, make more enthusiastic, like that. Now I read. It is well known that Atisha has 12. Okay. It's well known that Atisha has 12 gurus who had attained Siddhi and many other too. It has already been explained that he has learned in the 5 areas of knowledge. For all these reasons, this master was able to establish the victorious intention skillfully. See, skillfully, because of all the lineage blessings and his rigorous, study and complete understanding of the Dharma. Then he not only himself able to understand correct intent of the Buddha's teaching, he able to deliver, he able to pass down the even in the knowledge, the correct intent of the Buddha, able to pass down the realization, the channeling of the realizations that which himself channeled, starting from the Buddha himself, like that, So these are, if you think, paying more extra attention, there's a deep meaning there. As I mentioned before, the importance of, upholding the lineage, whatever Dharma that you receive, you see, even though you may have many teachers, you need to have at least one teacher that uphold all this lineage, then transmit to you. Or, if not all the teachers, at least one in our life, at least one we must grab, and that will condition also the knowledge we learn from just as scholars, or knowledge that we learn from just from the book. It will help to kind of add on to, to the blessing, like that. I read, such a master as this had an inconceivable number of students in India, Kashmir, Udayana, Nepal, Tibet. Though the main one were the 4 great scholars in India who match the master himself in their exalted knowledge. Pindo Acharya, Dharmakara Mati, Madhya Simha, and Siddhi sometimes Kitty or Siddhi Garba. Some at Mitra Guya as a 5th. So those are in India. It's the disciples who match his quality. In Nagri, in Tibet, it was the great translator Rinchen Sangpo. And then Nakso Losao, the translator, as well as the ordained King Changzhu. In the province of Sang, it was Garjewa and Gokumba Lese. In Lhoda region, then Karsa Chapaticho, Gewajong. So the in Kham region, Naljorpa Chimpo, Changchu Rinchen, Naljorpa Chimpo, Changchu Rinchen, Gombawa, Sherab Dorje, Chatar Tempa. And in central Tibet, there were the 3, Kungo and Dom, the Dom Tempa. So the 3 main disciples, the 3 main lineage holder. Among these, it was nevertheless the great lineage holder, Dom Tempa, Dom Tempa, who had been prophesied by the Tara, who further spread the exalted activities of his guru. This is the summary descriptions of the outer greatness. You should come to understand it more extensively in the great biographies. Yeah, so this completes the first outline. Now the second one is the greatness of the Dharma. So the second outline, mainly to generate a genuine sense of respect to the Dharma, faith, there are different type of faith. The three kinds. After knowing the characteristic, the benefit, the qualities of the Dharma, then you aspire to actualize those teachings within, aspirational kind of faith that expresses in aspiration to know them, learn them, practice them. Then the faith that which generate longing, joyful longing. Then the faith that develops conviction, complete trust in the teaching. So the main purpose of going through the greatness of the Dharma is for us to develop those different type of faiths. Then that way, when the teaching presented to you, it directly, recite as a blessing in our heart. Oh yeah. Showing the greatness of the Dharma so as to generate respect for the instruction. As for the Dharma, the source text of the present instruction is a lamp for the path to enlightenment. Although Atisha composed numerous texts, lamp for the path to enlightenment is their culmination, like a root. It indicates all the points of both Sutra and Tantra in a condensed manner. Thus, it is a complete in terms of content. It makes the gradual taming of the mind. It's a gradual taming of the mind. It is main topic. You see, so lamp for the path is a complete teaching, but its main purpose is to actualize lojong in our heart, as a pit instruction, as directly, to antidote, to train our mind. So it is not for intellectual purpose. It is for heart. It is for practice. I read. So it is easy to put into practice. It is adorned with the instructions of the two masters who were expert in the system of the two trail bazaar. So it is the particularly noble system compared to others. So it carried the lineage of Nagarjuna, it carried the lineage of the Shantideva, and it carried the lineage of the Lama Selingpa. Or it carried the lineage of Asanga, and it carried the lineage of the Nagarjuna. The greatness of the understanding all teachings as without contradiction. The greatness of these instructions of the text has a four aspects. The first of this is the greatness of the understanding that all the teachings, everything that Victor said, is without contradiction. They all comes to be understood as a one person's path to Buddhahood. That is to say, some are primary point of the path, while others are secondary point. In this regard, the Bodhisattva's wishes is to work for the welfare of all the world. To do this, it is necessary to prize all three types of disciples and therefore train in their respective path. For as Venerable Maitreya explained, the Bodhisattva's goals are accomplished through knowing the path of the three vehicles. So, such as Lamrim, it contains the teachings of all the yanas, and we as a learner, we have to put those of the teachings suitable for preliminary as a preliminary practice. Those of the teaching as a main body practice, take as a main body practice. Those of the teachings that which more resultant aspect, then put as a resultant practice. And nothing to be left out, nothing to be, nothing, not in use for one's individual's practice. And on top of that, the entire teaching has to come to a understanding, realization that one individual person's gradual guide to complete enlightenment, you see, like that. Then we, as a follower of the Bodhisattva's path, follower of Mahayana Dharma, then the preservation of the preservation of the Dharma has to be learning all aspects of the Dharma. Learn all the three baskets of the teaching, the teachings of the three vehicles, all to be learned and all to be practiced. If oneself claim as a Mahayanic practitioner, if we don't do that, then we won't able to preserve the Dharma. We won't able to accomplish the Bodhisattva's purpose. Even for the resultant purpose, after achieving Buddhahood or after achieving the spiritual goal, whatever it may be, to bring benefit to the entirety of sentient being. And entirety of sentient being in the different mental disposition, you need to equip with all the skillful tools. And all the complete skillful tools to benefit all sentient beings are contained within the teachings of the three baskets, or within the teachings of the three capable beings path, or three yanas, and within the practice of three higher trainings. So that to be understood. I read. The Mahayana path has both common and uncommon aspects. The former include those that originated from the Hinayana scripture basket, except for some peculiarities that are not shared in a common, such as aspiration for individual liberation and certain aspect. In perfectly complete Buddhahood, it is not that faults are partially seized and excellent qualities are partially completed, but rather every kind of fault is eliminated and every excellent qualities is completed. Since the Mahayana that achieve Buddhahood brings about the cessation of all faults and the development of all excellent qualities, the path of the Mahayana encompasses of all the qualities of the elimination and realizations of all the vehicles. That is why all the Buddha's teachings are included within the various sections of the Mahayana path that lead to the perfect Buddhahood. For there is no utterance of the sage that does not cause the cessation of the some faults and the development of the some virtuous qualities. And there is nothing among all of this that is not to be accomplished by the Mahayana practitioners. Someone may think that may be true for the Paramitayana, but not for those entering the Vajrayana. Now, although the way you train in the countless delineations of the generosity and so forth, according to the Paramitayana, differs from the mantra, both the behavioral basis, the mind generation, and the behavior, the course from the path of the training in the six perfections are nevertheless the same, and therefore something shared by them. So, as a Mahayanic spiritual seeker, Mahayanic spiritual practitioner, someone whose ultimate spiritual goal is Buddhahood, then all the faults to be negated or purified, even it may be as a cessation force for certain yanas. An example, the aspiration for nirvana peace, aspiration for nirvana, aspiration for self-nirvana, it is a cessation for lower vehicle, cessation for hearer and solitary realizers practitioner, Hinayana practitioner. But in relation to Bodhisattva yana path, who aspire for full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings, then the cessation which regarded by the lower vehicle has to be regarded as a negation and has to be purified. Even if you aspire full enlightenment, passing through the process of the path and cessation of lower vehicle, hearer and solitary realizers vehicle, even achieving the, going through achieving this self nirvana, the cessation for the self liberation, also has to be a purpose for achieving the state of full enlightenment. Otherwise, the self nirvana, the peace, also has to be purified, has to be negated, as a Mahayanic practitioner. So therefore, from the very beginning, we have to overcome, we have to negate from our aspirational system, aspiring self-liberation, even in case that that you are already following the path of self-liberation at a hearer or solitary realizer, and inspired to actualize state of full enlightenment, then the aspiration has to be changed. You continue to cultivate the Hinayana path, the hearer and solitary realizer path, but the aspiration of achieving self-nirvana has to be as a conditional purpose to achieve the full enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. So that's very much what we're talking about. Then also for the uncommon part of the mantrayana within the vehicle of the Mahayana, the practice of the sixth perfection, maybe different techniques, different methods to practice, but the common part of the practice of six paramita is the common to both the mantra practitioner and the sutra practitioner. Where some individual may think that when you practice tantra, then the common practice of the six perfections is no need. And just by practicing the generation and completion stages of the Dhyana yoga, directly on the mantra level, may think that is sufficient, but that is not sufficient. The practice of generation completion stage has to be construct or developed on the basis of the strong foundational practice of the Mahayanic Sutrayana practice of six perfection. So it's talking about that. So the Vajrapik Tantra says, do not discard the mind of enlightenment even for the sake of your life. Whatever yana you practice, whether you are practicing the lower vehicles path as a preliminary practice, the motivation cannot be diverted from the bodhicitta motivation. You can practice small capable beings path, but has to practice on the basis of bodhicitta motivation. You can practice middle capable beings path, you practice on the bodhicitta motivation. You may be focusing on the practice just, making your this very life purposeful, but do that on the basis of bodhicitta motivation. It's talking about that. If your purpose of practicing Dharma now to overcome rebirth in the three lower realms and actualize higher rebirth in future life, you can do that, but do that infused by bodhicitta motivation. Then no question about if you practice freedom from the six realms and receiving the nirvana peace, but that also to be pursued, infused by the bodhicitta motivation. Then no question about practicing any form of Mahayanic Dharma, including of the Tantra. The Tantra without bodhicitta foundation, the Tantra has no meaning. And so this is what it's talking about. So this quotation is the meaning of all the word that just explained before. I read, the conduct of the sixth perfection must never be discarded. This talking about, in particularly to the tantric practitioners, never to be discarded the common path of the Bodhisattva, the Sutrayana practice. The Bodhisattva's main practice is the practice of sixth perfection. So simply meaning, when you practice Tantra, if you miss the practice, the element of six paramita, then you miss the whole point. Even you recite mantra, you miss the whole point. Even you do deity or self-generation of deity, you miss the whole point. So how strict tantric practice you may be practicing, even while you're practicing completion stage of Tantra, the one of the exercise always be conducting is the practice of generosity, practice of morality, practice of concentration, practice of joyous effort, practice of wisdom. This has to be there. It's talking about that. This is also taught in the numerous other mantra texts. The important emphasis about what just mentioned, very much talks in all the tantric teachings. Many authentic sources for the mandala ritual of the High Sukha Tantra says that both sets of the vow must have been taken, the common and uncommon one, and indeed the former refer to the Bodhisattva vows. The precious Dhamma also said, my guru knows how to carry all the teachings by way of all four corners. So this statement is something to be examined in depth, like that, you see. So the Mahayani practitioner is like you have a tablecloth, whichever corner you pull, you're able to pull the whole four corners. So it have to be like that. So whatever you practice, whatever form of your practice, as I mentioned before, even you don't know much of Dharma practices. You just want to keep this life meaningful, having full of love, full of service, care to your family, and never hurting others, and always smiling and always staying positive, and even you're dedicating your life that much after you meeting Buddha Dharma, after you meeting, the Mahayanic Dharma, then one thing that you not miss out is the practice of the motivation of bodhicitta. Then best you integrate in your very best practice of the six paramita, like that. In the past, some of you have attended some of other teachings. I give quite often illustrate how to integrate the practice of six paramita as a cook, at home. How to integrate? How to integrate? Yeah, how to integrate? Okay, now maybe I'm talking. I'm not focusing on I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do. So now my mouth also not coordinating with me. So how to integrate practice of six perfection as a wife, as a husband, as a parent to children, as a someone, as a staff in the office, as someone, as a CEO of the company, so like that, you see. So each and every one of us here have a different manners of life that we live as a Dharma practitioner. And one thing that we make sure that always have this element, the true element is Bodhicitta motivation and practice of the six paramita. So this is what it's talking about. Okay, so I will stop soon. Okay, I think I better stop here. Otherwise, I think it seems like I won't able to finish. Okay, I stop here. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So do the short mandala offering as Felix requested.
Recording stopped.
This statement is something to be examined in depth. Yeah. O dagi jinye sabe gyawa de tendang tuwa bula kampeta chebra chuzun do sam. Tembe nyingbo rendo sashi sho sashi peke joshin mendo tang verable shinye de temba. Sanje shindo mi de bewa doge namda shin la shebarai sho ye dama guru rana menda la kamne ya kaya me. So do a short dedication. So whatever merit that we accumulate from this session, or the merit that individually or collectively accumulated in the past, in the future, or the merit that are accumulated by all the past, present, future Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, Gurus, sentient beings, may this collective merit be complete cause for numberless sentient beings to be free from oceans of samsaric suffering. It is causes karma and delusion, actualized in temporary happiness after the ultimate happiness, enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit be a complete cause, whatever inconvenience they may be in the world, such as war, natural disaster, any sort of conflicts that are happening within individual, within the family, within the nation, in a global level, any form of diseases, any form of especially those of you who are participating in this discourse, yourself, your family members, or anyone who is going through physical, mental, economical, relationship, whatever inconvenient they may be, by the power of this collective merit, purify them without delay even a moment, and actualize complete, lasting peace, happiness, success, prosperity, meaning, fulfillment accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. Anyone who passed away, in particular last 49 days, especially those who pass away in the war zone, in natural disaster, or those who pass away in a very painful death process, who pass away in an accident, who pass away untimely death, and they may be free from suffering of death, suffering of limited state, suffering of rebirth, actualize higher rebirth in the spiritual realm, and within that very lifetime, they actualize state of full enlightenment accordingly. May this collective merit become the cause, all the precious gurus, then all the people who are cause of peace and happiness in the world, like yourself, your family members, or then even any individual that who is even cause of peace and happiness of someone. That individual that can be the parent that who is nurturing their children with so much of compassionate values, virtuous values. Or it could be children that who is, with so much respect, compassion, loving heart, serving their parents, serving their grandparents. And those of the husband that who is taking care of their wife with so much of selfless, unconditional love, respect. And those of a wife who is taking care of their husband with so much unconditional love, care, respect. Those of brothers taking care of their sisters, those of sisters taking care of their brothers, those of individuals taking care of their pets, their dogs, their cats. Even that one individual who is always being mindful when they walk, take care of those insects, who take care of those ants. All these are peacemaker. Even that person, maybe just one, taking care of just one person, one animal, is truly so valuable, so precious. May our collective merit be complete cause for them to enjoy good health, long life, and fulfill all their aspirations accordingly. May this collective merit be complete cause. All the virtues in Dharma institutions, like monasteries, nunneries, all the Dharma centers, be free from inner outer secret obstacles, actualize all the conducive conditions to preserve the Dharma extensive learning, and actualizing realization stages of the path accordingly. And may this collective merit be complete cause. May each and every one of us never be separated from perfect Mayanic Guru like Sachai Lama Adisha, Sachai Lama Tsongkhapa, such like your perfect Mayanic, spiritual Guru, from whom that you get inspired in your spiritual journey. Like His Holiness, like Kyabje Lama Sura would say. Never to be separated, until we ourselves actualize the Guru Buddhahood. Yeah. So those of you, if you have any specific dedications to make for yourself, for your family, for anybody, please do so while I recite these short prayers, okay, in your heart. 장조 심조는 뭐지 마제 바람 기주지 개와니 밤에 봐요 고네 군도 돈이 다와를 뭐지 마제 바람 기주지 개와니 밤에 봐요 고네 군도 배워들 미 다와를 뭐지 마제 바람 기주지 개와니 밤에 고네 군도 배워라이쇼 돈이 이제 손도 주 제제 선조 관계 소화돼서 신도 논도 쇼주저 남의 꾸제라 되는 남과 틀려 주주게 로산 템베 주면서 조회 모세다도 제주로지 경화군도 양다나마 참에 취지 빨라로 사달람지 연대라 좀 도시 찬지 공부하는 then also dedicate may this collective merit become the cause. All the holy wishes of Lady Gyaltsen Lama Subramuchi is fulfilled. And may we have the meritorious fortune to actualize his unmistakable reincarnation physically among us without delaying. And may the reincarnation have all the conducive conditions to carry the legacy of Gyaltsen Lama Subramuchi in the service of Dharma, in the service of sentient being, accordingly with what Gyaltsen Lama aspires. Jizalame Gujarab de Jinangatile, Jambata was attended to Mesa. To Mozeta do Jeju, Jabe Bovich, the Jambata Kudu, somebody, and they said that Kunji Soda. Java de Datam Jerab Dongo, the Sojepe, Java Tamje, the Wogala Chudongo, the Tasha Jevets on them. Sambo Jerab Dongo, Pamasim Jetamje, and they using a Tamjeta to Chanjo Semba Gana Susho, but the Darkunji Molam do Yuroji, Bedanzo, Mikashino, Passam Semjera. Samba Chujin to the Dashi, Shuji Javo Songa, the Jesu number Pewa, the Kije Semasho, Tunje Malu Sawa Show, Dada Shingi to Sunda Dove Tanya, then the Java Losanta, then by Euro. Oh, yeah, Tujiche, thank you very much. Please take care. Take care. Zaijian, xie.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Bye bye. Take care. Tujiche. Thank you. Take care.
Thank you so much, Geshe-la.
Thank you. Xie. Thank you.
See you next
Bye bye.
week.
Take care.
Thank you so much.